Which circle of hell do you think I'm in for wearing a Metallica band tee? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's Avery. Today we're going to take a trip down to the 8th circle of menswear hell. Today's video is sponsored by me and my blog. Hit the description down below if you want to shop my favorite end of season sales and holiday picks, because winter styles are already on clearance. This right here is just a wholesome fashion meme. Someone sat down and replaced Dante's Inferno with the brands that you wear as you edge closer and closer to the final pit of hell. We're gonna compare the menswear path to the actual poem, see what dragged me down to the depths, see where I sit now. I wanna hear where you guys are at. And remember, just because you're going down the depths of hell does not mean you are doing any better. Of course, before you get to any actual circles of hell, you have to enter hell itself. And the vestibules here are just normal retail stores. When I was a kid, I could say I probably went to JCPenney. My mom took me there. The rest I didn't really shop at, but I wouldn't even count that when I really started to get into fashion, because as you see when we go deeper, this is really going down the hilarious fashion rabbit hole. It was for sure thrifting. You have budget core listed right here, thrifting and vintage. That's even how I originally got here on YouTube, was from thrifting and watching people's pickups and what they were finding and reselling at the thrift store way back early high school for me. So that is for sure what dragged me to the depths of hell here. But let's keep moving on. Circle 1 is limbo, and in Dante's Inferno, limbo is for the non-Christians, but the beautiful souls, the pure people, and the unbaptized babies. So let's see if any of you guys are in this realm. Okay, so this is pretty much mall core around me in Missouri. It was definitely a big thing. I think when I was younger, probably elementary school, I sort of remember having an Abercrombie sweatshirt. I don't think I even spent any time in limbo. You know what? Gap. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Old Navy. Old Navy was definitely a huge one for me in Missouri as a kid, that's for sure. But let's see what Circle 2 is all about. Circle 2 is all about lust, and I think that's super applicable here for whoever made this, because they have the faux riche labels here. So the diffusion lines and Armani and Polo and whatever is a super culturally status symbol item or brand, but it doesn't have the history or craftsmanship or anything like that to back it up. Like, let's say people can sort of justify buying a Chanel purse or Louis Vuitton, who started in luggage, whatever else. But when it comes to a diffusion line, I don't know. This is definitely a big thing where I grew up, and the reason I think it's so applicable is because this is when Dante and Virgil saw people blowing through the winds every which way from one brand to another, just trying to impress each other, just trying to impress one another. I don't think that this doesn't lead people to get into these deeper circles usually. You probably just stay there in that storm. If anything, entry-level sneakers is for sure there. I had Air Force Ones, I had Chuck Taylors, Vans Authentic. Alright guys, this is a big one. Circle 3 is gluttony, and that's when everyone's getting bombarded by snow and sleet and an endless ice storm. And of course, that's fast fashion. So you get your sneakers, what do you wear with them? You're going fast fashion. For me, I definitely had some Uniqlo tops. I don't know if I still have any post all of this moving. I had a pair of Levi's jeans for sure, but for the most part, as far as the shoes here, not much. Circle 4 is entry-level streetwear, which is hilarious. Definitely had Dunks. I had the Guns N' Roses pair back in, I think, like 6th or 7th grade. I was huge into Nike SB at that point. Did have some Dickies stuff, 10 deep. Woo! That's some rough beginning YouTube stage sort of stuff right there. But as far as entry-level streetwear goes, I had a bunch of clothes from my local skate shop, the single one around me in Missouri at that time, and I don't even know what brands. I definitely had some more of the mall Corey stuff, like Volcom or Element, but oh my gosh. That circle's Greed, but I don't think that that's any worth discussing. And the next one is Anger, which is middling boutiques. You have Diesel, Norse projects. I thought about buying some Norse projects back in the day when I thought it was so sleek and Scandinavian. I just needed to learn about Jill Sander. I just needed to learn. I don't even know. Naked and Famous. I had a pair of Naked and Famous jeans. Rag and Bone, Varvatos, Brooks Brothers, or Band of Outsiders. I never really had any of that, but this is spiraling into the 8th circle. I would say, if anything, I didn't really do all the hashtags with menswear or whatever else, but you could definitely say dadcore. I still wear some baggy stuff and some office-y stuff, and just that middle America but adapted to how I sort of see it, which, if anything, you could definitely say that that's dadcore. So that was probably my vestibule for coming down here into the 8th circle. This one right here, this is a mess. The 8th circle is where we really get into it. It's this whole bottom half, and pretty much the 8th circle of hell has 10 separate stony bridges and pits where different people who are committing different sins lie, and I want to share that with you because there are some really funny ones. The first ditch, for example, is for panders and seducers, which I think is great because you have real streetwear and neo-luxury brands like APC, Acne. I feel like this stuff is really easy to be seduced by. I was definitely absorbed into this sort of thing, and I feel like these labels in particular are hard to not be so consumed by it and just be like, oh, it's worth its money because it's early Supreme, or this is luxury fashion, this is what it is at an entry-level price point. And they all have a pretty simple story that it's easy to follow and also really awesome to get into. So this is definitely a gateway drug right here, and I for sure have had plenty of it. Maybe I'm being too broad though, because there's also luxury menswear thrown in here. Just throw it all in here. This is the first pit. The next one I really skipped over. You have like Lanvin, Loro Piana. Was never really interested in any of that. Then you have independent avant-garde and undercover in the third stony ditch. And I would say, if anything, I haven't really been into independent avant-garde until recently, and maybe I'm already in too deep to be super interested. There are some younger brands that I really like. And then also Kaylee and I just happened to buy 1 or 2 pieces. She has this awesome wrinkled blazer from Tom Crom, and I have this ring by Leon Lewis. I do have to give a lot of credit to Undercover, which definitely threw me down this hellhole, because when I was early on in college, freshman year, late high school, and really wasn't liking school at all, didn't really do much, started listening to punk music, whatever else, just wanted to get out of there. And then Undercover lined up so well with that and had such a rich history to look into alongside music at the same time. And then what's after that? The Antwerp 6. This is a really funny one because the 4th pit is all about false prophets. And of course you have the Antwerp 6, the best fashion designers there ever were and ever will be. Raf Simons. Have you seen all those crazy colors that Raf uses? I just think this is funny because the Antwerp 6 have gotten so popular, and mostly rightfully so, but you can't ignore the fact that Raf prices have inflated way beyond where they should ever be, and I guess I'm definitely not one that should determine that, but I still love my Antwerp 6, Anne, Walter, and also other Belgian designers too. Antwerp 6, there you go. Then you have Rick. I've gotten a few Rick pieces, but nothing crazy, and the one wild, truly glitter item that Kaylee got me, I didn't end up wearing it because it was just too much for me to handle. Maybe one day I'll make it there. You can see it's kind of going to more and more underground options, so this isn't like the further you go down in hell, the more H&M, Fear of God, start buying a chain with your mom's credit card at Home Depot to wear around your neck. It's just the darker and the deeper you go are technically more artisanal and more crazy underground, you have to be in it to understand it designers. And it's funny because it's saying it's not necessarily better when you get deeper, but that's pretty much the consensus here, is that you go deeper and you really know your shit. I never really got into collecting Number 9 or Black Means, another very punk Japanese brand. Then you have Boris, Julius, Yoji, getting a lot darker, more avant-garde here. And this pit is great because it's for the thieves, which who else in fashion would be stealing stuff besides someone wearing full Julius that they proxied off of Yahoo Japan? You guys know I'm a big fan of Helmet. I want to bring this up because this illustrates the point that it's not going down the line towards worse stuff like reeditioned whatever, or taxi hoodies, or box logo t-shirts. And as far as the rest goes, I don't have anything from Lost and Found to Jeffrey B. Small. I guess I do have a pair of Soloist shoes, and I really do love the Soloist work, but it's too expensive, first off, and those shoes that I have, I don't really have anymore because Gearedtowardgear has them. But that is the most 8th circle of hell thing I could add to this video, saying that Gearedtowardgear is selling my shoes. Of course, where the giants lay to carry you over to the 9th circle of hell, the fiery pit that it is. What do you have to wear? What do you have to wear to make that journey? Carol Christian Poel. Moral of the story, as soon as you are conscious about what you are wearing, it's over for you. As soon as you start talking about your clothes, as soon as you're thinking about what other people are wearing and what they think of your outfit, it's a wrap. This meme is actually from a few years back, but my friend just sent it to me and it's still so good. Had to talk about it. I want to hear where you guys are at, what stage you're in, how the ice storms are treating you. If you're pushing boulders back and forth because you're hoarders, whatever else. We need to recreate this for today's landscape because a lot of this is the same, especially the 8th circle, let's say. But with social media and Logomania, which I did not think would stick around for so long and is still going so hard, it's definitely a whole different perspective. So we need to recreate the 8th circle of fashion, the 8 circles of fashion hell sometime. But I hope you guys like this video, just hanging out. And of course, do me one last favor and have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, take care.